I'm Nicola McGeady and welcome to Boylesports Airtricity League TV. Well, last weekend the big talking point was Bray Wanderers' magnificent victory over Shamrock Rovers. And will the league leaders lose again this weekend to Dublin rivals Bulls? Well, we'll find out now with Boylesports tipster Leon Blache. Well, Leon, you gave us plenty of winners for the US Masters. Let's see if you can transfer your golf expertise over to Airtricity League action this weekend. The first game is a derby. It's a Dublin derby between Bows and Shamrock Rovers. Bows are coming off the back of a win and are going to be vying to knock their rivals when they're down. Do you think they could do it?
Well, as you rightly said, it's a Dublin derby, so anything can happen. And when you look at the history of both of these clubs, very successful in their own right. It's massive rivalry. The tension will be fierce amongst the players, the supporters. Hopefully we won't have any messing and let the lads on the pitch do the talking. But it was a massive shock to see Rovers lose at home to Bray.
Was it a bit of a fluke, perhaps?
Well, you know, maybe you can call it a fluke, but Bray beat them in the corresponding fixture last year as well. So they have a little bit of a hoodoo over Rovers. But like any good team does, Rovers bounced immediately back and beat Sligo 2-0 away from home in the Setanta Cup. So that to me shows you that it's a blip. And they're going into a Dublin derby now. They'll have forgotten all about the Bray game. That's gone. The Sligo game was a massive win. So you're looking at Rovers available at 11-10. Bohemians are 9-4 and the draw is 11-5. Now, do I think Rovers are value at 11-10 in a Dublin derby? Probably not. Do I think Bows are good enough to beat Rovers? Probably not. So I'm going to have to go for a draw at 11-5. If you're looking at the first goal scorer market, Nicola, Twig is the favourite at 9-2. But I like the look of Anto Flood. He scored the second goal in Bohemians' victory last weekend. He's in there 11-2, and as a home striker, I'd give him a chance.
Alright, well next we're off to the Carlisle grounds where Bray Wanderers will welcome a struggling Drogheda side. Do you think Bray, well I think it's fair to say that they've exceeded our expectations and where they're doing in the league so far. Drogheda, well they are struggling and they're quite big odds again this weekend. What do you think's going to happen?
Yeah, they are big odds, but I think when you look at Drogheda, okay, they are struggling. They had to change their manager very late on, just before the start of the season, so it'll take a bit of time to settle down. And Bray, they have to be full of confidence now, beating the champions at home, Shamrock Rovers. But are they value at 8-13?
Very slim.
It's a very skimpy price. Drogheda at 4-1 and the draw in there at 12-5. Looking at the value, you'd have to say Drogheda at 4-1. But Bray should be full of confidence. They should have a big crowd against Drogheda. And I just think they'll squeak by. But I wouldn't be advising an 8-13 bet on Bray. Just watch the result, but I think Bray might just scrape it. If you want to do a goal scorer again, I think Jake Kelly for the home side at 4-1 could be the man to open the scoring.
Okay, well Dundalk will be in the comfort of their own home this weekend where they're playing Sligo Rovers at Oriel Park. Dundalk, they've been anything but consistent, I think, and they're at the wrong end of the table, whereas Sligo Rovers are now joint top of the league and are really kind of vying to win the cup.
Yeah, they are, but look, I mean, they're going to struggle now because they lost 2-0 at home to Rovers, but Sligo Rovers joint top of the Premier Division. What a job Paul Cook has done. It's very early stages, but Dundalk have a massive week. They've got a semi-final of the Setanta Cup on Monday night at home as well. They're 3-1 up from the first leg. But this is a very difficult game to call. 13-8 for a home win. It's 11-8 Sligo and 11-5 the draw. Very tricky game. I think you're better off looking for a first goal scorer here. And a guy that I've been very impressed with is Jason Byrne. He's not the youngest anymore, but he keeps himself remarkably fit. Hasn't had many injuries for Dundalk this season. And at 11-2, I think he's a big enough price to back for first
goal.
goal.
I'm not going to let you get away with who do you think is going to win.
Okay, I'm going to go with just a draw. I'm going to go a draw at 11-5. Too difficult to split these two sides, especially with a big crowd at Oriel Park.
Yeah, so very likely outcome. Next up, Galway will welcome a very confident Derry City. Derry, they will be full of confidence after beating Dundalk 2-0 last time out. Galway, they managed to draw, but they're still quite struggling.
They are struggling, you're dead right, but they've a very tight squad as we can see here. Not a lot of players have come in the off-season. Sean Connor's got a difficult job down there, and rightly so. Derry are coming on a good run, beating Dundalk 2-0, 8-11 Derry for an away win, 9-4 and 130 Galway. I actually think we can go for Derry here. comfortably. I think it's going to be an away win, and that's going to put Derry on level points with the top two, all depending on how Sligo Rovers and of course Shamrock Rovers do. But for the first goal, tricky, but I'm going to go McDade at 5-1 to open the scoring ahead of his teammate Zaid, who's the 4-1 favourite.
All right, Leon. Well, the last game up for discussion is St. Pat's versus UCD. Neither of these sides have been very exciting to watch this season, and this could easily end in a stalemate, I think, as both failed to score last time out. What's your
Yeah, I think Nicola St. Pat's, I thought they would have had a better start to the season.
Yeah.
They've only got 7 points so far from 6 games, so it's not a great return. They're the 2-1 on favourite at home, which I think is quite skimpy. 5-2 to draw and 5-1 UCD. Gonna go a draw here at 5-2. I don't think there's much between the two sides. I don't think Pats are value at 2s on, so I'm gonna go UCD to nick an away point. And if you want to have a little small euro bet or a €2 bet on the first goal scorer, Robbie Benson at 10-1 for the students. He can always pop up with a vital goal, and he might just do it this weekend.
Okay, well, before we wrap things up, we haven't taken a look at the outright betting in quite a while. There's probably been some changes since last weekend's fixtures. How's it looking now?
Yeah, there has been, you're right, because of course the hot favourites, Shamrock Rovers, beaten at home to Bray.
They're
so they've drifted a little bit in price, gone from 4-7 only to 8-13. Sligo Rovers are the kind of big mover. They're now into 5-2, clear second favourites. And then it's 10-1 Derry, who have 11 points, only 2 behind, 14-1 bar those top 3 teams. If I say value, I've got to give it to Sligo. I really think they probably won't get to the Setanta Cup final now because they're 2-0 down to Rovers from the first leg. But I just think Paul Cook, after winning the cup last year, it'd be a fairy tale story if the boys from Sligo could go on and win the league. And I just think this league is going to be very close this year. So I'm going to go Sligo at 5-2 because Rovers at 8-13 are still not backable in my opinion.
Okay, well, some valuable tips to maybe consider having a punt on this
Friday. Hopefully valuable tips.
Yeah, let's hope we make some money off the back of Mr. Blache's tips.